I'm gonna draw your mom.
Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
You stand right now as far as your promotional entity? Because I have to say it was kind of wild seeing you up there on the dais afterwards with Eddie Hearn. Like, oh, and he was speaking very glowingly of you. He was very complimentary of you.
Yeah.
But to me, you've always been a top rank guy, at least recently. So are you still a top rank guy?
I'm still a top rank guy.
Okay.
So I was just fighting on, that platform, but I'm still a top rank guy.
Top rank's in a bit of a interesting spot right now with no TV deal.
They are. It definitely has been interesting, but they still been, making ways for me to be able to fight on certain platforms. Just because my thing is just to be able to just fight and have the masses see me and showcase my talent, and just for me to have the opportunity to do so. So if they're able to open up the opportunity for me, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Just take it.
So he's still a top rank guy, but Eddie Hearn spoke of him glowingly, likely because Eddie Hearn is just as aware of Top Rank's current broadcast situation as either I or you, and he's sifting through the fighters. There are some really good signings to be made if Top Rank doesn't land on their feet and secure a new broadcaster soon. It's been months. I've been saying it throughout that because Eddie Hearn insists on being a competitor to Dana White and Zuffa Boxing, his American offering needs to be a lot stronger. Overall, Matchroom has a strong stable, but it's a strong stable of international fighters. Guys from the UK, some from the US, one or two from Russia, just different locations around the world. Whereas to compete with Zuffa, you're gonna need more Americans. Because they are primarily operating in America. So just imagine if Top Rank goes under, God forbid, Richard Torres, Emiliano Vargas, Shu-Shu Carrington. Bruce Carrington, who became a champion this weekend, knocking out Carlos Castro in sensational fashion. I knew that he could. I knew that he would. I like his chances against some of the other champions at the weight.
I believe in you, Bruce.
I think Bruce can knock out Angelo Leo. I think Bruce can knock out Nick Ball or Brandon Figueroa if he beats him.
I believe in you, Bruce.
And I would give Bruce better odds against Rafael Espinoza, who I identify as the most dangerous fighter at this weight. I'd give Bruce better odds against him than either Angelo, Nick, or Brandon.
I believe in you, Bruce.
Was still a top-ranked fighter, at least momentarily. He was able to stay busy this weekend on a Turkey El Al Sheikh show. What happens now? Well, Top Rank continues to search for a broadcast partner. Bruce and Nick Ball are practically on the same schedule because Bruce just fought this past weekend and Nick is about to the next one. So that ideally, the winner of this upcoming weekend's fight, whoever it is, would face off against Bruce in a unification match in the summer months. Maybe on one of Turkey's shows, assuming he does one over the summer. I've long maintained that the amount of money Turkey's kicking out to some of these fighters, the featherweight division could use some of that attention, some of that money to bring unification matches to it. It's actually one of the deeper divisions in all of men's boxing, but you'd never know it how much the champions choose to stay away from each other, most if not all of them, waiting for Noah Inoue to move up. They're waiting for that big payday because they know they don't make but so much facing each other, at least not at market value. But if Turkey gets involved and overpays the fighters the way he normally overpays fighters, well, that changes everything. Suddenly, fighting an Angelo Leo, fighting a Nick Ball, a Rafael Espinoza is worth your while. A Shu-Shu Carrington, now that he's got a title of his own. He doesn't have a whole heap of time because he's already in his late 20s and he's been at this weight for a while. He can maybe squeeze in one unification match before he has to move up. I think this could be his final year in the featherweight division, so what happens now is pretty important. What happens next? I'm hoping he gets the winner of this weekend's fight. They're on practically the same schedule.
Yeah, he is. He's tall, isn't he? I've faced tall opponents before, so that's not a new, but, you don't become a two-weight world champion by being average, so I know that he's a good opponent, very good opponent, so... yeah, it's gonna be an exciting one. Yeah, what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'm used to it now. I'm used to it. Yeah, it's not new to me. I've been doing this my whole life. I think. Yeah, and I'm full of energy to do it. For the 12 rounds. So it's not like I'm gonna die off or it's gonna tire me out punching up. I've done it before, so it can be more tired than punching down when you're missing. You're aiming for a smaller target. You know, bigger they are, you know, the harder the fall in it, and the bigger they are, the bigger the target to it. It's more body to it. So yeah, probably jumping on the ropes at Wembley Stadium. Yeah, jumping on the ropes, just showing everyone and proving them wrong, because they underestimated me going into that one with Isaac Lowe at Wembley. Overlooked me, underestimated me. You know, I was the underdog going in. I jumped on the ropes, stopped them, jumped on the ropes, and just said, "Yeah, you know, I've showed you now." So, and then from there, it was on them, weren't it? Everyone knew I announced myself in a statement way. So that was a good feeling. And then obviously, winning the world title, you know, on the 5v5, in Saudi, that was special as well. So many good things. But yeah, them two stand out for me.
Nick said Brandon's a tall guy, but he's faced tall guys before. When you're Nick Ball's height, well, everybody's a tall guy. Sam Goodman was a tall guy. Ray Vargas.
He was a tall guy.
And he was a tall guy that was circling away from Nick Ball, staying on the perimeter of the ring. And Nick Ball was able to close the distance to get to him. Whereas with this tall guy, this guy's going to be moving towards him. So it won't be as difficult to find the target so much as endure. There is an element of danger in this fight.
Because Nick is a pressure guy, but so is Brandon. Brandon's not going to run from the smoke. He's going to run towards it. Who's the better pressure fighter? There's only one way to find out.
Fight!
It is true. Brandon is a two-weight world champion. I'm not impressed with him.
I think he sucks.
But in the exchange, you never really know. Anybody can hit anybody. Anybody can clip anybody. And when you've got two very aggressive fighters, both of which are coming forward, that can happen.
Close quarters fighting. Phone booth fight favors the shorter fighter with the lower center of gravity and the shorter arms because their arms don't have to travel as far.
They can string together punches faster.
Nick needs to make a conscious decision to go to Brandon's body because it's going to be right there in front of him as a result of him being so tall and having a long torso that makes for a big target.
Go to the body.
Take the air out of the tires. Those punches are much harder to recover from than the head punches. Gradually, that'll take the steam out of him and the steam off of his punches, the sting.
Nick's got to go to Brandon's body. Brandon's got to pick his punches right. I don't trust him to do it.
The uppercut is a particularly important punch for Brandon Figueroa because he's fighting a fighter who's a lot shorter than he is. Right there for an uppercut, tucked behind a high guard to catch any oncoming fire. You can split that high guard or mid guard with an uppercut up the middle, and because Brandon's so much taller than Nick, he can really turn into it, drive his hips.
Add sting to that punch.
So Brandon needs to work on landing that uppercut as much as he can. Nick needs to target the body, focus on it because it's right there. And it also helps that Nick is the hometown fighter and the house fighter. The promotion is behind him, likely the judges as well, the crowd.
His penchant for dirty boxing, those judo tosses we've all become accustomed to seeing in his fights.
Roughhouse tactics he's likely to get away with because he's got home field advantage, and being noticeably shorter than Brandon Figueroa, it's actually easier for Nick to knock him off balance because Nick has the lower center of gravity since he's the one closer to the ground.
Mean little fucker. Strong, too.
Whereas Brandon is put in an awkward situation. I've heard more than one statuesque fighter say they don't like fighting shorter fighters.
Why?
Because they have to punch down to hit them. Kind of leaves you off balance. You have to take a wider stance. It's just awkward when the height differential is that dramatic, which is often the case in a Nick Ball fight. So I'm still leaning towards Nick to win it in spite of this element of danger when you have two pressure fighters.
Two very aggressive guys. One could easily clip the other in the exchange, and rest assured, there are gonna be a lot of them, but I'm still leaning towards Nick.
Because phone booth fighting does tend to favor the shorter fighter. That's definitely Nick. He does have home field advantage. The promotion is behind him.
Brandon is pretty shit.
Like Nick said, he's faced taller fighters before. When you're Nick Ball size, everybody's the taller fighter.
There's obviously someone in your position, WBO, IBF, WBA, etc., but you're the most notable one, in my opinion. Everyone knows Mauricio Suleiman, right? And so I wonder, and obviously WBC to many is the most prestigious. Everyone talks about that green belt. Do you feel like it is your responsibility to speak up on behalf of the other sanctioning bodies, on behalf of the sport, because I've seen you do a lot of media recently and speak out and issue press releases and whatnot, because perhaps the others don't want to, can't, don't have the platform and the voice that you have.
Well, I believe I tried to stay quiet for quite some time, but then we had to do something. I believe that WBC, and I say it with humility and humble, is the voice of the sport of boxing. I believe we represent what promoters, managers, trainers, fighters, media, even fans have say. We are a center of attention and communication. We get everything like a funnel. And I believe there is great concern at this time. We did an open letter, and the title is Everything is Gonna Be Okay. Don't worry. If you're a promoter, small, medium, or big, just do better job. If you're a trainer, if you're a boxer, if you're a beginner in media, just continue working, continue doing it. Do it better. Work harder. And there's nothing bigger than boxing.
Listen, if there's a lingering feeling that Mauricio Sulaiman is a voice, the voice of anything, it's because he himself goes out of his way to be heard, to be seen, more than the other sanctioning body presidents, and I believe it's because he likes the camera time more than they do.
It's not some trust that has been bestowed upon him, so much as something that he takes upon himself to do. If there's a feeling that the WBC is the center of attention, no. You make yourselves the center of attention. If there's a feeling that there was that which needed to be addressed by them specifically, it's because these changes to the Ali Act would affect the WBC more than they would affect the WBO or the IBF. They don't have 3 and 4 and 5 alphabet titles and special designations all in circulation at one weight. The WBC does. The WBC franchise, the WBC World, the WBC Interim, the WBC Silver. At one point they had a WBC Diamond. All in the lightweight division. I remember. So that when legislation is passed down that would limit the number of alphabet titles in circulation to just one per sanctioning body, well, that affects you more than them. You and the WBA.
Your sister organization. Though we all know Gilberto doesn't like the cameras as much as Mauricio, so if there is this feeling that you're the voice of something, it's because you go out of your way to be heard.
You're doing that all on your own, more than anybody else. You say you're the voice of what the fans want. The fans don't want more alphabet titles in circulation. The fans didn't want a bridger weight division. How's that going, by the way?
I don't even know that the fighters wanted that. I don't remember fighters asking for an extra weight class in between cruiser and heavy.
You did that all on your own, like you do everything else.
Mauricio is free to run his organization however he sees fit. But this is not a trust that has been bestowed upon him by anyone other than himself, because he's self-important,
self-indulgent. He strikes me as somebody who's in the wrong racket. You look like you want to be a promoter the way you run your organization.
You fought Tyson Fury 3 times.
He fucked that. We're not talking about that motherfucker, I swear to God. He whooped my ass 3 times, whooped his ass 3 times. We're not talking about him. Fuck him.
He ain't whooped me twice at all.
Deontay still feels he should have got a KO in that first one.
He didn't whoop me twice. And
hold on. We have to give somebody credit.
I am giving him credit.
You're not giving him credit.
I'm telling you what I know.
Well,
I'm telling you what I got.
I was there for both 2 fights.
I know that, but you only seeing what you saw. He didn't win nothing. They gave it to him. I can't think about the third one, but the 2 of them, he definitely cheated. I got proof and evidence of that. When I do my documentary and my movie about it, it's going to be presented. I'm going to bring the peoples and the artifacts and everything I know. Why you think he can't come back to America now? The man cheated. He's the biggest cheater in boxing history. If you look him up, you will see it. And if I'm lying, then please tell him to sue me for defamation of character so I can have the proof. And I want that. I can't wait on it, because being a black man with dark skin is harder to believe me than to believe a white man. And then that first fight, the referee, that's white supremacy. What he did, you know what he said? He did what he thought was best for boxing. Nah, your job is to count his ass out. That's what you're supposed to do. He gave him an extra 15 count. You know what I mean? Everybody know that. So it is what it is. And how I speak from the truth and from the heart and the passion of it. And that's why a lot of people don't want me in this business, because I know too much. I know who's stealing from everybody.
You better tell me. Turn the microphones off and tell me, please.
Buddy,
Here we go.
if you had any concrete evidence to present against Tyson Fury that would prove he cheated in the second fight or the third, you don't have to wait until he tries to sue you for it. You could have presented that any time in between now and the time he first beat you, over 5 years ago.
If he really cheated and you can really prove it.
If he really cheated, and that's what you really think, then why'd you bring up your costume being too heavy?
What, did Tyson Fury design it for you?
You say that Jack Reese's quote-unquote long count in the first fight was a sign of white supremacy. That's what you say. But Kenny Bayless is a black man, and you also took shots at him over the second fight. Remember that? Remember calling him a crab-in-the-bucket referee?
Jack Reese, Kenny Bayless, you got a problem with everybody.
Even your own corner. Remember that you accused them of drugging you? You fired Mark Breland?
For what?
If not for Mark pulling you out in the second fight, there would have been nothing left of you to bring to a third that you also lost. And wasn't the third fight supposed to prove that he did in fact cheat?
But the only reason he won the second one was because there was something in his gloves. So you guys made sure to check, crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's in the third, and he still beat you. He still knocked you out. And that time, Mark Breland wasn't there to save you.
Well, you were angry because Mark pulled you out of a fight that you were so clearly losing. Well, in the third one, Mark wasn't there to do that, and you still lost. So how many more excuses do we have to hear?
Oh, because Tyson Fury, he can't come to America now.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That ain't got nothing to do with you and your fights with him. That's because of his connection to Daniel Kinahan. But he's not the only one. You know who else can't come to the United States as a result of that? Savannah Marshall.
Did she fuck with your gloves too?
Ben Davison.
Did he fuck with your gloves too?
That was because of the now defunct MTK Global, not because of your fights with Tyson Fury. And as stated, if you have any concrete evidence that you can present, why have you been sitting on it for the last 5, 6 years? You don't have to wait for Tyson Fury to file defamation for you to present it. If it were worth anything, you would have done that by now.
Toxicology report that proves you were drugged?
He referred to this evidence as being artifacts. That's what it would be, since all of this is ancient history, but you can't let it go. And the real reason for it is he didn't earn that opportunity. You willingly gave it to him.
It wasn't your mandatory. You were under no obligation to fight him. You chose to do that because you were looking for an alternative to the AJ fight.
So that when the whole thing blows up in your fucking face, you want to make it everybody else's fault. It's Jack Reese, it's Kenny Bayless, it's Mark Breland.
It's the costume, it was too heavy.
They spiked my water, they set me up, all for something you willingly went along with because you never had to fight this guy. You chose to do that. This was a cherry pick gone wrong.